What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? The boy Jermane'S Views, and today, we have a very short show today. I'm your host, and so today is actually Wednesday, June 22nd. We ain't gonna stay on here very long because we kind of pressing for time. So pretty much give it up for Wednesday, June 22nd. The year is going on so fast, so on and so forth. So dive right into it because we're gonna be very quick today. Going to be extremely quick. I'm going to be on here for approximately 10 minutes live stream. Y'all never seen that, right? But anyways, um, the government, well, Congress vote again to kick the can down the road. So they vote to reopen to keep the government open until around December 4th, after the midterms. Pretty much kicking the can down the road. Um, of course, we don't want to see the government shut down, but the Democrats they don't care anyways. They not one Democrat vote for that continuous resolution. I believe the Pennsylvania senator did vote for it because he's one of the most sane and mentally competent Democrat who is not a lunatic that is for all the bad things that we don't want for the United States. So I think his name is Fetterman. I think he voted for that continuous resolution to keep the government open after the midterms, but not one Democrat except for him probably. I'm not quite sure. Vote for that. So what that means is the government is going to be open. The Democrats they can't Chuck Schumer and the Democrats they can't shut the government down and hold the American people hostage, um, and for political gains. So they usually do that around this time of the year. That's when the Democrats usually come out between summer going down to fall. Who remember last year? Um, the government was shut down. TSA was shut down for and operating on a limited amount of staff for days actually, not for days, for months actually, for months. So that they can't do that anymore, until because we have midterms in November. So until uh, December 4th, then we have a budget and spending. But anyways, yeah, that's what's going on with that. The government gonna remain open. Um, they're moving forward with the bill to ban senators and government officials and government representative to day trade stocks and use insider information because when some of these senators and House members on these committees get information that critical information in regards to the economy and what's going to happen and if we're facing any sort of threats from any foreign adversaries or any disease or any pandemic threats, they get first-hand information. They get briefings on what the plan of action is, and when that happens, the economy tends to get a shock from it, and they'll place their bets through stocks trades on whatever movement the economy going to move in and what the stock market is going to move in. So that's how Nancy Pelosi for years have been profiting from these trades, and and again, the Democrats they come out not in favor of it. They said that they want to ensure that the administration is under this rule as well, which is fair, but I think it's the right step down the road for the entire country. It's the right step down the road, for the entire country to really ban this type of setup where Congress is trading on insider information. That's bad. But again, what they're referring to, the Democrats are alluding to Trump's monumentous 3,000 plus trade for the first half of the year, for the first quarter of the year. So they're pretty much saying, hey, if you're gonna pass that bill, you have to extend it to include the White House and the administration, so the administration can trade and such information as well. But they don't understand that before Trump was the president, Trump was a businessman, and he was running businesses and dabbling inside of and outside of the market. And also, when you're a president, there is, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but when you become a president, there is a office or a firm representing your trades. For example, Trump has a outside firm making his trades for him, which he claimed that he doesn't tell them what to do, he doesn't influence them, but they make his trade independently. So the provisions are already there for when you are a president, or when you're for the provisions are already there for when you're president, and how your trades are going to be executed and what influence you have on the trades. But again, the Democrats are just playing politics, and they just don't want to see these bills go through, because most of them, they're sitting down there or doing insider trades. Members of Congress, Democratic members of Congress, Nancy Pelosi, chief among them, profit tremendously from the COVID dip, from the AI dip, from the AI run, because she has insider information and she was acting up on it. So they don't want to pass the bill. So we're not surprised when we see Democrats do some nonsense like this. You know, it's what they do. They don't think about stuff. You know, it's just what they do. So we're not surprised when we see them back out on some bills that are definitely going to help the country and help the country in some type of way and make it fair for everyone else. So we're not surprised when we see that. So you know, don't be shocked. Let's pivot to another story. So, Kami Mamdani, aka Zolan Mondami, the New York City mayor, have come to terms with reality and come to terms with and how the law is applicable in the United States. So he has backed down or back out of his promise to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if he comes to New York City. So listen, Mamdani is not an idiot. He knows how the law is applied, and he knows how things work. So what he was doing, he was just selling some of y'all, because he's a snakeskin scale salesman. He was just selling some of y'all Democratic people, some of you Democrats, on the fact that he will be directing the NYPD to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if he ever set foot in New York City, or in the New York State, or whatever it is, or wherever his jurisdiction extends to, but most likely New York City. So he knows that can't happen, and Trump made a truth social post saying Benjamin Netanyahu will not be arrested in any shape or form. But Kami Mamdani sold all that last year when he was running, because of the war that was going on in Gaza and Israel and so on and so forth, and he was just trying to rally up the Muslim base, you know, because most of this is just religious war, to be honest with you. I ain't gonna lie. He was just trying to rally up the Muslim base and sold y'all on the fact that he will be arresting Benjamin Netanyahu for war crimes if he ever set foot in New York City. But he knows that he couldn't do that. So now he came out with a briefing saying that he have instructed his team to look into stupid ass. He instructed his team to look into in all way, shape, or form, to look into the idea of arresting Benjamin Netanyahu, and then, you know, they found out that it can't be done. It's impossible. There's no way they can do it. And, you know, so he has to let that go. He can't act upon that intent. So, but this goes to show how stupid some of these politicians are. And not only politicians are stupid, the people that follow them are stupid as well, in many regards, because a lot of people knows the law. A lot of people knows that, any arresting or any stopping of a foreign diplomat cannot be done um, by a state, federal, by a state, local, or municipal government. It has to be done by a federal agency. It has to be done by, and a matter of fact, I don't think the federal agency can arrest a diplomat unless they have overwhelming evidence that the diplomat is involved in some sham or some crimes. Because once you have a diplomatic treaty with the United States as a foreign country, then you have diplomatic immunity. And Benjamin Netanyahu is a foreign diplomat. He is the prime minister of Israel. So he could be coming into JFK or wherever it is. He's not, you know, they can't search him. TSA or whoever cannot search his luggages, cannot search his airplane, cannot search something because of his diplomatic immunity. You understand? However, they can search him just in case they get intelligence that he might be coming in with something illegal into the United States. However, if they search his possession and make an arrest, and they figure and the intelligence was not accurate, then the United States might be in big trouble. So Zoran Mamdani knows this, but he was just selling y'all on the idea that he can flex his muscles and arrest a foreign diplomat and a prime minister of a foreign country, to be exact. So he knows all of this stuff. He knows that he's not capable, and he knows that he doesn't have the authority to do so, but he just sold you guys on the fact that he can do it. But now he backed down on that promise. So that's it, guys. Just pay attention. I told you I wasn't gonna be long here. That's what I have for you today, guys. Please remember, like the video for YouTube algorithm, subscribe, share, and comment, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop any content. This is your boy Jermane'S. Please remember. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Did the United States actually kick the can down the road? What do you think is going to happen after December 4th, after this spending bill run out? And do you think Zoran played himself or he played the people of New York City? Let me know in the comments below.